Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the awesome astrological interview series on the topic of triangles in astrology. And once again, we are privileged to have Chandrashekhar Sharma Sir with us. As we all know, he is a very experienced astrologer, having more than even 58 years of experience in this field. And he is the founder of the YouTube channel named Jyotish Teachings. And he shares the valuable information about various astrological topics every week. So, welcome back, sir, to our channel. And as I always say, we are truly privileged to have you here with us.
You are very kind.
Yeah, of course, sir. You always say this, but it's your kindness that you accepted our request and you are doing this series with us. So we are truly grateful to you. And I want to thank you on behalf of all the management team and members of Astrovedic Enthusiast FB group.
See, I am very happy if the knowledge is actually it percolates down. At my age, I want the knowledge to remain somewhere, at least in the virtual world, if not on the in the books.
Yeah,
I written some books, but that is not everybody goes through the books nowadays. So
true.
the times have changed, sort of. So now we shall talk about the Artha Trikona. We have seen, I think, in the last series we talked about the
Yeah,
Dharma Trikona.
yeah.
Trikona means
Last time,
lines. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
Last
uh,
time we have discussed about the Dharma Trikona, Dharma Triangle,
yeah.
and today we will bring the interesting discussion for our viewers on the topic of Artha houses.
Yeah.
So let's not waste any more time and let's get started with our
That's right.
session, sir. Yeah,
I mean, this is a trine or triangle, as you call it, the modern people. We call
yeah,
it trine. So, Trikona does mean triangle,
yeah.
as we know. And this is the one triangle or the trine which is most interesting to the people of modern age. You know, they are more interested in getting the money than anything else. So, this
Yes.
is about career. See, Earth by itself has many connotations. Uh,
Yeah.
and as we have seen in the earlier trine also, what happens is though it is the ninth house or the fifth house which actually carries the name, the
Okay.
entire trine is given the name of Dharma Trikona in the Dharma Trikona that we saw earlier. No?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
one is actually the Tanu Bhava and ninth is the Dharma Bhava. But the
Yeah.
entire trine with the Lagna or the ascendant or your
Yeah.
entire personality as the apex is called the Dharma Trikona. I think because the base is Dharma, we can also think about
Oh.
it. Here we are talking about the Artha Trikona. Now this Artha is said to be son of Dharma and Buddhi,
Oh.
religious
Okay.
duty and intellect. See, that is how in Sanskrit Artha has many meanings. In every for every word of Sanskrit there are a umpteen number of meanings.
Yeah.
But if we understand the meaning, we understand what we are talking about. See,
Okay.
you can understand that if one does his duty righteously
Yeah.
and learns from experience, then he is
Mm.
likely to have a career. So,
Okay.
in that way, if we look at it, we can understand what is the Artha Trikona.
Okay.
Artha is also one of the names of the second bhava,
Oh.
the
Okay.
bhava of wealth,
Okay.
which is also called the Dhana bhava.
Mm.
So now you can understand that, yeah, that has something to do with this triangle, perhaps, isn't it? This triangle. So this Artha Trikona has its apex, the 10th house, the
Yeah.
house of career, the house of karma. We call it the karma bhava, which
Yeah.
involves the duties, occupation, anything that you do with an expectation of returns, including
Okay.
even the religious rites. You do them because you expect something,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, it might look odd, but yeah, that is what happens. You want to pass, and then you will go to the temple and perform some puja or whatever. The
Yeah.
ultimate the expectation getting something out of that karma,
Yeah.
that work. So, 10th house is the karma bhava.
Yeah.
So, 2, 10, and 6.
Hmm.
These are the bhavas, not rashis. Remember, because there is
Yeah.
always a confusion between the natural zodiac. Of course, they will be the rashis like
Yeah.
Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. But
Yeah.
we look at these trikonas from point of view of the jatakas, the one, the querist, as you call it in English.
Yeah.
In his chart, whatever is the ascendant, the second bhava, the 10th bhava, and the sixth bhava constitute the Artha triangle. The Artha
Yeah.
triangle.
Yeah.
As we have seen earlier, any trine has an apex. This here and the focus of everything that is done by the two other bhava is to
Okay.
elevate the apex. Here,
True.
the apex is the karma bhava.
10th house. Yeah.
Whatever you are going to get in return by doing something
Hmm.
is represented by the 10th bhava, and
True.
what gives it support? The
Yeah.
second bhava and the sixth bhava. How
Yeah.
does it give it support? No, sixth bhava is called as Ari bhava or
Okay.
Ripusthana. So house of enemies, that is all that is generally under, or house of diseases.
Okay.
Understand that being assiduous is also one of the meanings of Ari. Being
Okay.
faithful also is one of the meanings of Ari. So don't
Oh.
always jump to conclusion it is only bhava of enemies and your relatives and diseases only. No, it has many connotations,
Yeah.
and that is why if you do assiduous work, if you speak properly, uh, give some substance in your work which is connected with the second bhava,
Yeah.
and then you have a career which ultimately will gain you the wealth which is indicated by the second bhava.
True.
All right.
True.
So this is the basis of the Artha Trikona.
Okay.
And unfortunately, what happens is we always think that Dhana Bhava is there, so something will always come to you. You will always have wealth. No, you will have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
You put in your efforts.
Yeah.
By that, second Bhava incidentally is also a Bhava of what is called as in colloquial language or Sanskrit, Vastra Ambar. See
Okay.
what can I say? The jewelry or
Hmm.
certain ceremonial dresses were
Okay.
given to somebody in recognition of his work. Now
Oh, okay.
that is to be
Yeah.
seen from the second bhava.
Hmm.
In earlier times, even now that is done.
Hmm.
If you remember, when you graduate, you are given a gown. So
Yeah.
this is a gown of honor, is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
True.
Though the house of reputation is 10th bhava, but that gown itself it comes in the second bhava.
Okay.
Whatever you get as an honor to you, honor
Hmm.
about what? For something that you have done goes to the second.
True. You have done already. Yeah.
So now you can understand the connection.
Yeah.
You do your work assiduously,
Yeah.
sincerely,
Hmm.
then your career will last. If that
Hmm.
career will last, then the gains out of that karma, because karma is in expectation of getting something,
Yeah.
is perhaps either reputation, because not everybody works for money. Some people also work for getting recognition in the society, like
Yeah.
those people. I mean, we call them NGOs, but no, hardly any NGO works for without expectation of money.
Yeah.
But some people do devote their lifetime to get recognition,
Yeah.
isn't it? Without expectation of money also, but then the expectation is I get some recognition,
Yeah.
people honor me, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now you can see the connection between these three houses.
Yeah.
And what ultimately happens is, if you can also, second house is also house of speech. If you are a good,
Speech. Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
talk properly with people,
Yeah.
if you accumulate some wealth
Yeah.
and you work very hard, then you will be recognized in this world.
Yeah.
So these two houses support the 10th house.
10th house. Yeah.
That 10th house is known as the house of recognition.
Yeah.
So so the dress or whatever you get in recognition of you being recognized is second house. So
Yeah.
you give trophies. We give sometimes trophies or mementos or whatever in
Yeah.
a program when you call some people. Then that goes to the second house.
Yeah.
But the fact of his having been honored comes to the 10th house. Never
Yeah.
forget these things, because this is how this is all linked. So
True.
you better do these two things. Second bhava is also kutumba. It is also the vidya
Yeah.
bhava,
Yeah.
house of education.
True.
Don't forget that. And that education is not necessarily the written education. Whatever you learn, not by experience, but because perhaps the family tradition or whatever.
Family tradition. Yeah.
Isn't it? Huh.
Yeah.
In India, at least you know the carpenters may not have gone to school, but he can create fantastic furniture.
Yeah. Very
So
true.
that Vidya, we only call it as education in English, but Vidya
Yeah.
is different than education.
Yeah.
So this is the Vidya. Some art form or something which you can do with your own hands will go
Yeah.
to the second house, isn't it? And
Oh,
many
okay.
times it is from family, it is passed on from family to family,
Family. Yeah.
not always. So if these two things are cultivated properly, you use them properly, then you
Yeah.
are likely to get the uh, 10th bhava.
Recognition.
You
Yeah.
have a career, and you not only have a career, you also have a recognition.
Yeah.
Otherwise, any person you employ, if he goofs off, you are not going to give him recognition. You
Yeah.
might the most recognize him as the laziest person in this organization, isn't it?
True.
Which is not a good recognition.
True.
This is how these trines work. The base is always the fifth and the ninth bhava, and the apex, I mean, from that bhava. And apex will be the focus of whatever you
Yeah.
get. These are also called the Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. This is what a person is supposed to do when you are born. You
Yeah.
are supposed to do it in a way that doesn't hurt anybody, and righteously, people rarely do it in this yuga, but
True.
that is the concept behind it. And
Yeah.
if you have all those four things, the Dharma, the Artha, the Kama, then you are entitled to go for moksha.
Yeah.
That is how it goes. I mean,
Yeah.
that is how the Hindu philosophy at least accepts it. Or
True.
you are born and you immediately go for moksha, then you don't go for earning anything or having a career, which
Yeah.
is known as the sannyasa, the
True.
renunciation. That is done at a very young age, not after you marry or whatever. Once you get into the artha income, then you complete the travel along these 4 points. The four.
Yeah.
These are the apexes. So
Yeah.
these are also called the Vishnu Sthanas. If you remember Parashara, he says squares are the Vishnu Sthana and trines are the Lakshmi Sthana.
Yeah.
Vishnu is God of creation. He can sustain you, but he needs Lakshmi to give him
True.
money on the basis of which or utilizing which he can
Yeah.
sustain this creation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So now you can get that concept about why those trines are important. I mean the base of trines, they are never
True.
in the form of square, they support that square, the apex.
Yeah.
So you just have something in the 10th bhava, it is not necessarily a person will have a good career, he also should have something in the 6th or
Yeah.
second bhava,
Second.
or
Yeah.
going to sixth not going to second, or some connection between these,
Yeah.
isn't it?
True.
So that is what happens. I mean, I have seen once you talk about sixth bhava, everybody thinks about the diseases and the enemies,
Enemies, depths.
and
Yeah.
the relatives, rarely the
Yeah.
relatives. But it is like bhava of growth. It is
Yeah.
also bhava of hard work. Oh, never remember,
Okay.
forget that.
Yeah.
That is why
Yeah.
Mars as well as Saturn, according to me and Jatak Parijata, are the karakas for the sixth bhava. You work
True.
hard, you will get recognition.
Yeah.
Early or late will depend on your chart.
Yeah.
So these four purusharthas are to be done. That is why those four triangles are there.
Oh.
Their
Yeah.
apex are the squares. That is what you
Yeah.
need to achieve. Many a times you will see, I hope I am not boring you, but many a times you see that we hear that if there is nothing in the square, the person cannot do anything. No, you will find many
Yeah.
people with squares absolutely blank,
True. I have
becoming
also heard.
people, great people. Look
Yeah.
at what is happening in the supporting things.
Yeah.
That is only the apex. That is what you see.
Very true.
But nobody looks at the, mm, what we can say, what is supporting that image. That
Yeah.
support is always the fifth and
The
ninth from
foundation.
that
Yeah.
it is always fifth and ninth from that square.
Okay.
From 10th, if you count, then
Yeah.
if you go on
True.
the
True.
regular
Yeah.
direction, then the fifth will be second and ninth will be sixth,
True.
isn't it? So
Very true.
what is needed? What dharma you need to do to have a career? Work hard, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
work hard and if you understand in that career, whatever experience you get, which is represented by the fifth from the 10th, which is the second bhava, then you are likely to have a good career. So this is how we should look at it, and at least this is how I look at things. Maybe many a times my view of looking at things would not have been expressed in so many words in the classes, but you read in depth and you will find that that is what they meant. That is why there is a lot of confusion of what planets should be there, and we must always look at the bhavas and the strength of those bhavas. So this is something perhaps new for the astrologers to know, that in Sanskrit, Ari also means not only enemy, it also means assiduous work.
Okay.
Being,
Great, sir.
And being faithful and being devoted, all those meanings are also of Ari only.
Okay.
It doesn't mean enemy, but it also means faithful. Somebody who is faithful. When the faithfulness goes negative, that is Ari, enemy. If you are not,
other
become
the
enemy.
other meaning. Yeah.
So that enmity is within us.
Okay.
My mind, the chart itself is a reflection of our mind, how we think, and how we think, so how we will act, and then what will be the result. This is how I look at astrology. Unfortunately, most of the people would not agree with me, because
no, sir. I totally agree with you.
I always think the remedy is within us. Our own actions
Very
are
true. Very true.
so. But
Very
anyway,
true, sir.
so remember that even property, wealth, everything is in the second house. Whatever you accumulate in the second house.
Yeah.
When you work hard, you get recognition, then you get some bonuses or whatever in modern house. So they will all go to the second house. Whatever salary you get out of the work you do will go to the 11th house. That is profit or labha. But the second house is the accumulated wealth. For that, then that you must have reputation. If you have bad reputation, maybe your company will be going to liquidation, and like many people you may land in trouble. So remember this. So second is very important, and this is the basis of this trine.
So
I prefer to call it trine rather than triangle.
triangle. Okay.
So I don't know why, because perhaps when I was young, I was reading, and that is the word which was used.
Okay, sir. This was very unique. I always love to listen to your unique perspective, and thanks for.
You are saying, see, many a times people say that he's a cranky old man. So I'm very thankful to you that you are not saying I am cranky.
No,
But that
sir.
is who I am. That is how I have been trained to think.
Yeah, that is the correct perspective, actually. Yeah, that is a beautiful perspective.
Trained to think the principles behind what is being said.
True.
That is why I look at it from this point.
So, sir, I wanted to ask you one more question, that as I told you that you have a very unique perspective. So, can you tell us what is the importance of Artha houses in today's era? Like in this Kali Yuga, how people are executing things from the Artha houses, and what do you think? How they should make the most out of it?
See, I would think that, look at those houses. Second house is house of speech.
Yeah.
They better control their speech.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Accumulate their wealth. Because second house is also house of accumulated wealth. Is it?
Yeah.
And gain recognition. Ultimately, everybody, if you are a student of economics, you will understand there is something called as Maslow's theory of hierarchy of needs. And it starts from, I just want to eat, and then that is why I work. Then I want some, house to occupy, so I work. That is what motivates me to work. And the ultimate motivation is recognition.
Yeah.
At one point of time, a person wants recognition. Maslow stops at recognition by peers. I go a step ahead. I think the ultimate recognition is recognition by world at large, people at large. They may not be in your sphere of work, isn't it? So that is the purushartha. That is what you are supposed to do. So you use your speech properly. Whatever you have learned, vidya, I would call it, not education. whatever skills you have, let us put it that you call it skill set. I suppose in modern days it is called as a skill set.
Yeah.
See to it that you develop your skill sets and then work hard, very assiduously, very faithfully. If you
Yeah.
want to have the 10th house of karma in the right
Mm.
place, your career to grow, and you getting also get recognition for the
Yeah.
work that you have done. This is all. See, the money part of it is just a product of that hard work that you put in and save for the future. Because
Yeah.
12th house is about expenditure, whereas second house is for the accumulation of wealth, isn't it?
Right.
And wealth
Yeah.
in different forms. Even having a good name is wealth as far as Hindu
True.
philosophy goes. It's not
Yeah.
only money. You may not have money and then still you are recognized. So for Hindus will say, yes, yes, he has great wealth. Wealth
Yeah.
as in knowledge. Read as much
Has a
as you.
good name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is Vidya, not the formal education. Formal education is a
Yeah.
part of that goes to the fourth house, as you know. And
True.
I think so. Using these two things properly would always
Yeah.
make the career grow. If you are unfaithful to your employer, nobody will keep you for long. If,
Yeah.
if you are even unfaithful to yourself, then recognition is not going to come to you. You are not going.
Yeah.
I mean, people sometimes cheat others, isn't it? So over a long
Yeah.
time happens, the 10th house will get affected. That
True.
is why sixth house is also faithfulness. Never forget that.
Okay. Oh,
Check
okay.
Sanskrit dictionaries and understand what are the meanings of those words.
Okay.
And yeah, and according to me, this is how we can come out of it. See, you eat properly, you will not fall sick. The sixth house of Roga. They are all
True.
internal. If you are sick, you cannot work. The
Yeah.
10th.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yes. There is a connection between these three.
Yeah.
Whichever way you go. If your
Yeah.
family has some business, then you might have a karma. Sometimes
True.
your relatives might help you get your career.
Yeah.
So now we are getting those that these three things are always interconnected.
Yeah. If
And
you follow the good speech pattern, then you may
good
not
speech pattern,
have
eat
enemies.
properly, you are less likely to fall
Yeah.
sick, isn't it?
Yeah.
What we call
Talk
nowadays as
properly.
lifestyle diseases would not come to you,
Yeah.
isn't it? So even what you eat, what you speak, how you accumulate the knowledge
Mm.
through different things. These are eyes, isn't it? Second house is also
Yeah.
eyes, is sight.
Nice.
So read something and try to understand it. So this
Yeah.
is how I would think, because these are the ways of attaining those four purusharthas: the dharma, artha,
True.
kama, and trikona.
Yeah.
And now you will see the progression. You do your duties righteously, you will become uh, capable of having some career,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And after you have some career, accumulated some wealth, have some job or work, whatever, then the next triangle which is there, you will reach there. Then
Yeah.
only have some desires, is how I
Yeah.
look at it. That we will talk about when we talk about the Kama Trikona,
Kamadra. Yeah.
because it's always again a misunderstood thing about what is Kama.
True.
Yeah. So we will also look
That's
at
the interesting
what is
part.
Kama, what does it
Yeah.
mean, and how is
Yeah.
it, how you can fulfill your desires.
True.
So that goes in the. We have seen, I think, in Dharma lecture only, I said that Dharma has some progeny,
Yeah.
called the Artha and the Sata and Harsha.
Yeah. You
So
told this. Yeah.
related to those bhavas, so you are getting it. So the
Yeah,
what
sir.
dharma is, you complete your purushartha. These four things have to be completed by a person.
True.
Purusha doesn't necessarily mean male.
True.
Please understand that in Sanskrit and especially in astrology, this is all sex neutral.
Yeah.
So when we say putra, it also means putri.
True.
So it also means daughter. Never
Yeah.
forget that. That is one thing which always goes haywire when people.
In people's mind.
Yeah, people think
True.
it's like that, but it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Whatever is applicable to a male is also applicable to a female,
Yeah.
insofar as it can be applicable.
Yeah.
Isn't it? So
True. Okay, thank you, sir, for sharing this. Now we will move ahead to the next question.
yeah.
Sir, my next question is that as we know, all the earth signs, that is the Taurus, Virgo, and the Capricorn, were chosen as the original Artha houses, right?
Yes. Yes.
In in original Kalpurish Kundali.
Yes.
So, what could be the reason of deciding only these three signs as Artha houses at that time?
I would again like to clarify that it is not necessarily those houses, but when we go
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
natural zodiac,
yeah, natural zodiac.
see, fire is sacrifice, whereas earth is something which you can touch and feel, isn't it?
Right,
Now,
right.
what does this represent? You find out that ultimately you get the wealth. Ultimately, Artha means wealth.
Yeah,
One of the meanings is wealth. Wealth you can feel with your hands.
yeah,
This is not in your imagination. See,
yeah.
like say certain things like we will go about it in the next lecture, which are in your imagination.
Yeah,
I mean, intangible. These are tangible things.
yeah,
Second house is whatever accumulated wealth you have, whatever assets you have.
yeah,
These assets are created out of the career.
yeah,
From here you gain something, then you spend something in the 12th house, and whatever is left is the second house, isn't it? These are
true.
tangible assets.
Yeah,
This is not necessarily cash. It can be your shares, but not cash. It can
yeah,
be fixed deposits, but not cash as such.
yeah,
Cash will always go to 11th house, that is where it comes, and then you spend it and whatever you do.
yeah,
But whatever is accumulated, whatever is left over,
yeah,
even your name, like the sage Parashara, is long gone, but his name still remains. That is the 10th house of recognition.
yeah.
See, these are extreme. Oh, sorry. I'm
It's
getting.
okay, sir.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay.
So, as they say, God bless you. I don't know.
Yeah,
Sneezing, why do you say? I never understood. But anyway,
of course,
so
sir. You have those vibes.
God anyway has His blessing upon you,
Yeah,
you it or not. He can't stop. He has to give. Uh, so let us not go off the track. So what is happening is second house is again Venus, the one who likes luxuries of life.
okay,
10th house belongs to Saturn, who works very hard.
true.
Here the things will go the other way around. And
Yeah,
Mercury, one who can absorb things, understand things very easily, the sixth house.
yeah,
And this is what we were anyway talking about.
yeah,
We had reversed it. We said second house is what you learn, what you accumulate, how you speak,
yeah,
isn't it? Vidya, we were
true.
calling. Vidya is the domain of Buddha, the
Yeah,
lord of the sixth house in the natural zodiac.
yeah,
That is his house of exaltation also. So that is why these signs were perhaps chosen. These are earthly things.
okay,
With this, you can attain something later on, which is what is called as the karma or desire.
yeah,
But these are earthly things. These are physically, you can see them physically, and
true.
perhaps that is perhaps the reason that
Yeah,
these signs were chosen. But basically, the natural zodiac is all about these four purusharthas,
yeah,
as we were talking about.
yeah,
Dharma, dharma is something to follow dharma, to be righteous, you have to give something up. So you burn
yeah,
yourself, as I was telling you, the saffron color is also represented by that.
yeah,
Agni itself is saffron. He has two faces. Here there
true.
is no two faces. This is only a single face. See, you have wealth, and period.
Yeah,
How you use it has to do with the Dharma Trikona. Whether you use
okay.
it for good work or bad work is, so that is why these are all interconnected as a matter of fact. Nothing is
Yeah,
mm, in isolation. The problem happens many a times is I look at the young students also, they take things in isolation. These
okay.
are all interdependent. All these 12 houses together will do something for you or me
Yeah,
also. So that is why these are early signs. These are all things which we need to live on this earth.
Yeah.
See, as we call, I do something righteous, then our belief is that in the next life I will get some benefit out of it. I mean,
True.
anyway, human beings are very bad. They do things only for getting something,
Yeah.
whether in this life or in next life. But next life is supposed to be good, and I don't know whether astrology will go there, but anyway, that
Yeah.
is it is supposed to be good, but that is all intangible.
Yeah.
You can't touch fire, you can see fire only,
Yeah.
isn't it? Whereas earth,
True. Very true.
again, next will come the Vayu Tattva, and then there also it is more the concept rather than something which you can touch. Uh,
Yeah.
and many a times that which is not seen, at least dharma, righteous duties are seen by everybody. You know,
Yeah.
your wealth is seen by everybody. Then
Yeah.
you the next thing. Where it will not be, you can't see it.
True.
So that is where the Kama Trikona will come into play. And
Yeah.
the entire thing anyway is connected with all those four tattvas.
Yeah.
The fifth one belongs to Guru. So that is a different tattva altogether.
Yeah.
As you know that. So we have got five tattvas, Pancha tattva we call it, but Akasha tattva does not come to any of the signs.
Okay.
Uh, the signs are for people who are born here on this earth.
Yeah.
They are earthly beings, isn't it? So they
Yeah.
don't have Akash Tattva. Akash Tattva goes somewhere else that we can sometime talk about. If we
Yeah.
have, well, I am never sure when I will be in a mood to talk about something and how
Yeah.
short I can keep it. That is my problem. So, uh, because these are interesting concepts. As you rightly said, why only 159? Because that is in natural zodiac, they are signs of fire. Fiery
Yeah.
signs, isn't it? In the next one is 2, 6, and 10.
True. The
The
Arthams.
early signs. These are
Yeah.
tangible things. Your disease, we know you have got disease, isn't it? Because 6 is also disease. Your relatives, yeah, they are physically, you can see them. You can see your aunt, you can see your enemies also.
Yeah.
Only court cases you don't see, that is different. But you can still see the judge and the lawyer fighting for you, isn't
Yeah.
it? So all
Yeah.
those things these are tangible things. These are visible things.
Yeah.
So that perhaps is the reason they have chosen the early size basically. And
Okay.
then they thought, how is it possible that everybody will have the same sort of fate? So
Yeah.
then it was reduced to that 2 hour gap, which is the time taken for a Rashi to move from one place to another
Yeah.
on equator, of course, not everywhere. As you go in the higher latitudes, then the time goes less and less and less till
Yeah.
you reach the North Pole when for 6 months there is only day and 6 months it is night. So remember that. And I think
Yeah.
this is the reason they have chosen these uh,
Artha signs.
signs
Yeah.
and these
Arthams.
particular rushes because they have
Yeah.
also got some lords who have got certain duties to do.
True.
Those
Earth
lords,
signs. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and these are the uh, perhaps this is the reason because nobody has explained it. No
Yeah.
sage said anything about it, but we can understand. If
We
we
can
know
interpret.
the Purushartha, these four arthas are there. A person who is born has to do this.
Yeah.
Four things he is expected to do. Whether he does it or not is a different issue.
True.
I don't go by that modern idea of why I am born. No, no, you are born to do
Okay.
all those four things. So this is what I always, I mean, people ask you, what is the meaning of my birth? I say, your meaning of birth is do good duties, work hard, fulfill your desires out of your own money, not somebody else's money, and ultimately learn to give up all those things. Attachment to things, you should understand that you should give up attachment. We are
Yeah.
attached to our name or our fame or whatever, isn't
Yeah.
it? So I think these are the four purusharthas, the four tries that we are talking about. They
Yeah.
are indicative of this is what you are born for. Whether you will do it is your mind, which is
Yeah.
in nobody's control. And so on that topic we will talk sometime
Yeah.
later. So this is how I look at it here.
Great, great. So today's session was really interesting, and it's even more interesting than the previous one. And I hope so that viewers will get to know a lot of new things from you, sir. And especially your Sanskrit library is very vast, I think. Please come up with every time come up with new words, and all of us will love to understand the different meaning from you, sir. Yeah,
I try to do whatever I can. I mean,
yeah,
Sanskrit is a language that I mean, I understand the language. I am no great scholar of it. That is why
yeah,
people many a times write that I am a scholar. I try to tell them that no, I am not a scholar,
yeah,
but I do understand. I do
yeah.
understand to some extent. And if I don't understand, I go to the
Great.
chas they call it. They don't call it dictionaries. It
Yeah.
is kosha. Kosha also means
Gosh.
banks, treasuries. That
Oh,
is what I was talking about. See,
yeah.
our ancients thought that knowledge itself is something worthy of being, mm, hoarded, and that is also
Treasure.
wealth.
Yeah.
So, by the way, because you said this, and then suddenly I remember it is
Of course, sir. Of course.
The
Thank you.
treasury of words and their meanings.
Yeah.
Beautiful concept.
Great. Great.
And
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing this wonderful, beautiful information with all of us. And we are truly grateful for to have you here with us. And now we will meet in our next session, which is going to be on the karma houses.
certainly, certainly,
Surely,
and
sir.
pleasure is entirely mine, Nikita, because I think that it is our duty to allow the knowledge to percolate to everybody.
Very true,
Otherwise,
sir.
what happens is, many a times, we pervert the knowledge and use
Yeah,
it for making money or whatever. I mean, I don't mind people making money, but
yeah,
sometimes, which maybe my generation has a
true.
different view. And
Yes,
I
sir.
hope the younger generation will understand us.
Of course, of course. Your views are very valuable, sir. And thank you so much for coming here again. And now we will meet in our next session.
Sure.
Yeah.
All the best.